Hello, everyone. This is Domina Sofia here at Domum Sapientiae, the House of Wisdom. How are you? I am sitting here looking at the Paramour quiz. I finally got it done. Yes, I have been contemplating this, thinking about this, like how I have a desire to put together a quiz where my ladies, those of you that are not inside the oracles keep, because oracles keep the private membership, they know their archetypes. We work with their archetypes. But I thought, why not? Let's see who else is going to show up as the pharaoh or the queen with a consort, or who's the courtesan, who's the wealthy wife. How many of you actually are a combination of more than one? Well, sometimes two to three. I'm curious. So I finally created the quiz that will teach you about, well, I'd help you identify who your wealthy wife paramour archetype is. Yes. And I want to say this too before I forget. And I always laugh too because I crack up on this one. Before you ask the question, yes, you could have more than one answer, because you may represent more than one of the archetypes. So as you answer the questions, you can use more than one answer, but the goal is to be as authentic with your answers as possible. Answer what resonates with you, as opposed to trying to make it create something that you may not resonate with. So the quiz is finally done. I'm also thinking in terms of, because here's something else that's going to have to happen when you take the quiz. When you come to the final, the answer sheet, it will, like I said, explain to you something about the archetype that you represent, the energy that, actually is, that resonates with you. We'll give you a little more information about it, but it will also share with you some women, because I said before, I have about 51 women, which I'm adding to the list because, oh God, a good 15 that I forgot about, that I'll be adding to the list of women, historical and present, women who represent a variety of archetypes and definitely are in the energy of the muse. I was laughing because I thought about I can't believe I forgot to put Martha Stewart in there. Martha Stewart. I love me some Martha Stewart. Definitely a muse. Archetype, I would 100% say Pharaoh. 100% Pharaoh. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But as she got older and began to relax, she has moved into the energy of the courtesan because she's more playful now. And she's always had a playful edge to her, but she was definitely in Pharaoh mode when she was building out her empire. But now, as she's more playful, especially with her and Snoop Dogg, could you even imagine? What a pairing. What a wonderful pairing of personalities. But she's definitely now in the image of the courtesan. And who else? Oh my gosh, who else do I have in there? Oh, there's tons. So it'll pop up. It'll give you, probably, depending on your archetype. What I noticed when I did my answers, it gave me 4 examples of women who actually represented that, especially the pharaoh, that particular energy and archetype. So it'll give you some information that you can also do some research. Because my goal is to remind you that as women, we've always been powerful. Always. And we have been conquerors. We have been conquered, obviously. We're in the state of situation that we're currently in, is because there were some issues in our history that have caused us to deal with the masculine, we're dealing with it now. But that is shifting and changing as we return to our true power. All these conversations right now about dark feminine energy, which is good, because remember, dark energy is the energy that creates everything. Dark matter it has all of the necessary aspects, attributes, whatever you need is in there for you to pull forward to build and create. And there is no light without the darkness. So the darkness is very important. You must understand what that means and represents to you. So the women that will be sharing with you throughout the course of either paramours, or if you become a temple patron, because I said before, if you be, the patron paths, as I've shared earlier, different audios, you have two options: the opulent woman, which is literally that you are living in the energy of being an opulent woman. There are ceremonies, mindset, invocations, and I love the invocations. I practice them myself. The invocations are they're so beautiful. This is a form of devotion that you're doing for yourself. And what I like to about the invocations is you can literally take a line, one line that speaks to you, and use that as the energy for your day. And then there are actual journal prompts that you can work with because there'll be questions for, once again, for you to be able to take the information and really begin to bring it into you for deeper awareness and once again, a deeper understanding and knowing. And the second path for the patron literally are the 26 laws of the Muse, where you're learning how to live in the energy of the Muse. I've said before, it entertains me to see the word Muse all over the place right now, and it's everywhere. I've seen it on maternity clothes. I've seen it, women claiming to be muses, which some of them might be, some of them might be, some of them I know are definitely aspiring to be, based upon what I see when I go through their feeds. Because when I see the word pop up, I'm curious. I'm always curious, just because I know what it is, what it takes, and what is required to be a muse. Some of them are sensational. I guess that some of them, they have some work to do. They do, because this isn't just a title, it's an energy, it's a frequency. It's literally, we change the lives of the people around us. And it's not something that we're looking to do. It's nothing we do intentionally. It's just who we are. The energy, the authenticity, because this is a requirement of the muse. You must be willing to be authentic. And I know that word is floating around everywhere: sovereignty, sovereign, authenticity. But I shared with you, oh my gosh, how many, it's been a couple of years ago now, when I used to receive the words. I used to, gosh, and have, the matter of fact, I did receive the words for this year, but they came later. I forget what they were. But for a while there, at the end of each year, I was at the end of each year, like on the 31st, I'd receive like 3 words that were the energies of that following year. And I believe the last year that I remember vividly, one of the words was authenticity. Because this is where we are right now, knowing who you are. So when you're making decisions about your life, you can do it from a space of knowing instead of fear or pressure. You're doing it because you understand, which will once again become understanding, meaning you feel it, you know it, it's becoming part of you, making changes in your life. I love that women are becoming more unapologetic. I love seeing so many women discussing, we're reclaiming our energy. We're stepping back into, once again, domumsapientiae. It's a temple. This is a temple. This is sacred space for men. I also work with men. I do counseling with men as well. But the whole setup is for women coming back to self, remembering the holy aspects of who you are, which will change the way you speak, the way you move, the way you dress, the way you allow others to be in your space. It becomes very easy to bypass problematic people when you finally understand self. I love, once again, that women are now understanding how to be present with their bodies more. I saw something today where they were doing it was a little girl that started her period, her menstrual cycle, and the celebration was beautiful. It was a melanated family, little girl, and the celebration was what we used to do. We used to celebrate these things. I've said before, I shared before about the red tents. We used to come together during that time to literally sit in the energy of the downloads, to eat, to sleep, to cry, to do whatever we felt like doing in that emotional time, that hormonal and emotional time of release. Remember, your menstrual cycle it's a huge release. We just let go of material from our bodies that had the capacity to create a whole new person. You're getting rid of literally, we're literally being removed from our body, building material, literally, on a galactic scale, on a cosmic scale. So these are the things that we're now beginning to remember. So when I saw this ceremony of this little girl, it was so sweet. The music, the flowers, the ambiance. They had the veils on, the beautiful jewelry. It was such a powerful moment. And all I could think of was every little girl that was sitting there, because there were little girls, they were younger than her as well. They were excited. They are going to be excited about their menstrual cycle. Instead of being fearful, instead of thinking that it's something terrible, thinking it's something dirty or something wrong with your body. No, they're going to understand the power of this transition from child to womanhood. And then on the other side of it is the perimenopause. I've shared with you many times in reference to this. This is when the veil is biblically breaks. It's now been pulled back, where you are sitting in your life going, what the hell am I doing here? See, this is where the archetypes come in handy. This is where you begin to now really think about the muse that you may be or you are. Perimenopause is when you find your voice. And I love hearing women. Ooh, instant my feed, my algorithms are good. Women are speaking up. Women are proclaiming. Women are encouraging each other. The fear around aging is finally diminishing. Especially as the science is coming out and showing that most of the problems as we get older is men. Remember, they kept saying our biological clock was ticking, that, after a certain age, we're just useless and when we're the problem. And it turns out it's the men's sperm. Guys are really getting it right now, which is kind of good because the level of arrogance for some has been just outrageous. For them, yay. And for the ones that are very, 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 very lovable and very loving, I also love the information for them because there are things that they're learning about themselves that are also helping them. And then we can grow together. So it's quite an interesting time that we're living in right now. So as you are thinking about your life and you're listening to this audio with me, how are you showing up? This is a question I ask often. How are you showing up? Are you still hiding? Are you still shrinking? Are you still adapting for others? Now, once again, I know sometimes we're in a situation where that's a necessity to a point. So I'm asking for those of you that have the ability, you're not dealing with an oppressive situation, because I realize some folks are, and they may not be able to get out of them immediately, but your headspace, your thought process is where that has to begin. I've spoke to women who've gone through situations that were, not the best, and they said that's where it began. They finally began to think differently. They changed their mindset, and then bit by bit, because your awareness changes, they were able to take advantage of opportunities that got them out of situations that were just terrible. It's a process. But for those of you that are free and have the ability to pick and choose, what are you choosing for yourself? When you think in terms of how you're showing up in the world, remember, I work with the four archetypes we work with here in the temple are powerful feminine archetypes. Pharaoh, queen with the consort, and the consort he is in service to her. This is not an equal, like, side by side thing. No, she's the one. She's the sovereign. Everything that sits there is hers. He serves her queendom, empire, etc. And does it beautifully. He's like her head general, right? Or maybe the CEO of the company because she's, chairman of the board, the courtesan. You know how much I love the courtesan. And I love the courtesan so much because this is a woman who literally has so much freedom of movement when she understands who she is and what she's doing in her whys. Are you the wife? Because I know right now wives are getting kind of, that title's getting taking a bit of a beating right now. Just because the version that's being offered up is pathetic and is very harmful to women. I've heard all the whole stories around the whole trad wife thing. Once again, remember, they tell you stories and give you narratives that you have a chance to talk to someone that actually is in the situation. The narrative is not the same. Yes, there are some very happy women that are living traditional wife lifestyles with the husband, but that's because the husband is living a traditional lifestyle of the husband. He understands how to care for the family, take care of the family. He knows his responsibilities. He is elevating his wife and his family. There are some beautiful marriages out there that are working beautifully from a traditional sense, but that's happening because he's not looking to suppress and stand on top of her head, technically. Because, see, that's the issue. Men are attempting to find ways to, once again, control women, which always makes me laugh. You know what? When men are like that, I'm like, just grow the fuck up. Why can't you just learn how to be a better man? Why are you unable to elevate yourself to be able to move in the same energy that we're in? Just be a better man. Trash, right? I know, I'm asking. But it's like, it's not a complicated thing. Elevate. Do the work to heal yourself. Learn what your life purpose is instead of trying to squash women and make women less than. Because once again, we carry the blueprint for life. So you're not going to be able to make us less because we're the ones who actually create the life. Remember, we build people from our bodies, literally. And I will continue to remind all of you of this particular truth. Every single one of us has aspects of literally our mother because our bodies build our babies. Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. And every woman has that capacity to do so, whether she chooses to do so or not. So you are the blueprint. You are, once again, you're sacred. So when you're learning who you are and how to do it from a position of pleasure, wisdom, wealth, prosperity, and opulence, you move different. You speak different. You sound different. You live differently. You learn how to receive because you understand how to bring forward who is the correct person or persons to be in your world because you understand how to articulate. I've been on the side, once again, of working with women for a while, and articulation is usually the issue and the problem. Because for so long, women have been speaking other people's ideologies, other people's expectations. So when you come and sit with me and I'm asking you, what do you desire? Who are you? I get a lot of blank stares initially. But because I am so redundant and believe and it repeat constantly, eventually it does break through. And because the environment that we sit in inside the temple is a safe space, it is a place you come to learn who you are in the company of some amazing women. I love when I finally watch, and I said before, the oracles keep, they're relaxed. I watched how they have shifted as we've gotten deeper into the oracles keep. And also when I do gatherings or when we do this next upcoming masterclass, because yes, there's a masterclass coming in reference to the archetypes. I figured why not? If you're going to learn your archetype, I might as well give you a chance to actually go deeper into your archetype and have a chance to ask questions. So there is actually going to be a masterclass coming up on Sunday, June 5th. You can click the link, go over it. The whole page will explain to you what's going on over there. But and I said again, I love when they get together when we do different gatherings, and they have, and I always love how they greet each other. When they haven't seen each other for a while, They're just, it's family. I don't know what to tell you. It's a happy family. It's a happy family because they're like, oh my gosh, girl, I haven't seen you. How are you? What's going on with you? They celebrate each other. Do you understand how good this feels? To know that I have been creating a space where women come together and they learn, they elevate, they evolve, become a better version of who they are. Because once again, I'm never here to explain to you who you have to be. That is no thank you. No, I raise a family and I never did that for my sons. There's no way I would do it for another person. But I'm always here to hold that mirror in front of you to remind you to take a look and see who you are. So the decisions you're making make sense in a good way. And when you learn your archetype, it's so funny, especially when the goddess daughters that learn that their archetype is Pharaoh. They're like, oh, that explains so much. They're like, well, that explains a couple of things. Um, because the Pharaoh is very authoritative, obviously, and has this sense of knowing and power and just, well, wisdom and just and strategy that's really, really good. And not really going to just deal with the people's fuckery. Like, no, we're not doing this. No, thank you. Mm-mm, no. And their love of knowledge, because when you're in that Pharaoh energy, because you literally are an empire builder, there's levels of understanding, and overstanding that happens in reference to people, places, and things that they were feeling they were just, how to explain it? Because they've heard this, you're too much. You're too much. You do too much. But they're thinking, but this is who I am. And I love what I'm doing, or whatever. They're always made to feel that they just were, ugh, why you do so much? Or you're intimidating. No, you're just weak. There's nothing intimidating about me. Because I said before, I'm Pharaoh energy. It's one of my energies, my archetypes. No, there's no reason to be intimidated by me. Learn and elevate with me or leave me alone. It's very simple. So who are you? Are you the Pharaoh? A queen of the consort? Are you the courtesan? Or does wealthy wealth sound more familiar to you? Because each of those archetypes also, there are different types of masculine energy that also are attracted to her and that she's attracted to. I will cover a handful of them on Sunday's course, Sunday's masterclass. I will not go over all 15. I've got a total of 15, but I will share with you guys. I have a few of them just to give you some examples and to also encourage you to think about the type of men you've been attracting and your whys behind it. Anyway, check out the quiz. Like I said, the link is in the video description. Email me. Let me know your result. I would love to know. And if you were going to join me for the masterclass on not June, gosh, oh my gosh, the month is almost over, July 5th. If you join me there, I will have more details because there will be workbooks. I love creating the workbooks that I can do with Claude are insanely amazing. So there will be workbooks and information that you'll be taking home with you or downloading and have for your reference so you can continue to explore and learn about yourself. But anyway, looking forward to sharing this with you. Have an awesome day. We'll talk soon. Bye bye.